Greetings, fellow citizens, taxpayers, and debt slaves. From all of us here at Casa de los Aves, I want to sincerely thank you for your most generous Halloween gift. I just received it in the mail on Friday, and I knew that I must immediately compose my thank you note for such a thoughtful display of your gratitude. Your apparent belief in the value of my farming activities is so great that even in these difficult economic times you have chosen to share a small piece of your hard-earned income with me through the efficient administration of the United States Department of Agriculture. And I thank you. Now, while I don't personally support the government taking money from one group of citizens and arbitrarily handing it to another group of citizens, I do feel a personal obligation to let you know what your money was used for. So rather than typing up some lame domestic use description of what I did with your money, I've decided to make my first ever YouTube video, showing you exactly where your investment was directed. I hope you enjoy my little story, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes with some parting thoughts.
Okay, so here goes. Today started off pretty much like any other Friday, with me standing at the bus stop sending my kids off to school and thinking about how much I really didn't want to work and pay taxes today. But I didn't have much else planned, so there you have it, another day in paradise. However, upon returning home from the bus stop, I had a chance encounter with my friendly neighborhood government worker, the postman. That was actually a post lady, but I'll call it a post person to make sure I don't offend anyone. Well, I guess with all the money printing, excessive debt, and our gigantic budget deficit, .gov can no longer afford to buy checks. So instead of a check, I received this statement showing that the USDA had deposited 294 fiat currency units into my bank account. I immediately knew what I was going to do today, so I hopped in the truck and headed straight down to the bank to see the debt-peddling, fiat currency expanding purveyors of usury that work for J.P. Morgan. There, I exchanged my digital currency units for paper currency units bearing the image of Alexander Hamilton on them. I chose the 10 as I thought it only appropriate to have our first Secretary of the Treasury involved in today's escapade. In addition to the symbolism, 29 Hamiltons, an Abe Lincoln, and 4 Washingtons make for a pretty cool gangsta bankroll, don't you think? I even had a rubber band to keep it all in check. It was fun. After briefly fondling my newfound taxpayer-funded wealth, I headed down to the booze store to invest nearly half of your gift into beer, booze, and Little Clove cigars. Next, I reallocated about 20% of what used to be your money into a single commodity. That is to say, I filled up the truck at Valero. A little later, and just up the street from the Valero, I created another job today by paying the neighborhood barber for a much-needed haircut. Thanks again. I really needed that, as I was starting to look like a hippie. Then, while sporting my not-so-glamorous but still pretty super for $7 haircut, I trotted on down to the local shit and get, where I invested just over 10% of my unearned wealth into lotto tickets. After a long day of pissing away my free money, I came home and piled up all of my loot for a quick photo op. The free Jägermeister t-shirt was quite a nice addition to my shopping experience, and if I weren't so fat, I would wear it with pride. Finally, and with just a handful of paper vouchers of wealth left, I took my wife and kids out to their favorite chain restaurant for dinner and a good laugh at your expense. Thanks, bitches.
I hope you've enjoyed watching my first ever YouTube video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. I also hope that you're truly pissed off right about now at our moronic federal tax, entitlement, income redistribution, and monetary policies. Now please, understand that I am not in any way attacking farmers. I am simply pointing out one of the many ways in which I am personally benefiting from ridiculous government policy at someone else's expense. Now I know, many of you are going to say, but Chad, you don't have to suckle at the government teat if you don't want to. But to hell with that. I'm going to continue profiting from your tax dollars to the fullest legal extent possible until you, the voting public, wake up and realize there is absolutely no difference between voting for the blue team or the red team. As a matter of fact, under both blue wankers and red wankers, I have personally profited from government interventions into and subsidies for multiple industries, including agricultural production, the sale of tax-advantaged financial products, personal investments I've made into real estate, and I'm currently in the process of forming a solar energy company to avail myself of one of the biggest granddaddies of all tax subsidies, green money. In conclusion, please Take the time to educate yourself as to what is going on in our government. Study the Austrian School of Economics. Read the Constitution. And please, take a few minutes to visit the Libertarian Party website at www.lp.org. If you'll take the quiz, it's only about 10 questions, take the time to truly think about your answers. You just might find that you are a libertarian too, and that for far too long you have been hoodwinked by one or the other side of the two-faced coin that is our current political establishment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the money. Good day.